complicated things were in a weekly. It seems like we added another layer, maybe two even.
You're talking just about personnel-wise? Yeah, I mean, each week presents itself a new challenge, and that's all it is. I mean, again, once we've all put our heads together to figure out what's the best roster to put together, we always do it and have confidence in it. So, you know, it wasn't any different this week. It was just a longer list of injuries after the game that kind of, took its toll a bit. But you know, for the most part, that's the day after. It's always hard. It's always grim the day after a game, generally speaking. But it's looking much better now.
The indication was that after the game that Bethel Thompson was taken out because of his performance. Now all of a sudden he has apparently an injury.
I wouldn't say apparently he has an injury. He has an injury. That's why we're putting him on the sixth game. And he's been fighting through and trying to give us the best he can give us every week. And when you watch him practice and you watch him do everything, there's a lot of things he could still do and do well. Obviously, performance is performance. That's why, we did go a different direction in the second half. Performance was part of that. I know this. I know I've played the position. I know when you're playing it injured and you're trying to fight through things, at times things just don't go your way. I think right now it's best to just get Bethel some rest physically to get him back to 100%. And then Caleb's worked extremely hard. He's been in our system for 3 years. We've had him start and win games for us before. He came in and played extremely well, was prepared to play, and that'll be what it will be going forward. So, there is no, with Bethel, it was an injury, and again, I applaud him for fighting through as much as he could, and we tried the best we could to make it work, and it just wasn't.
When the schedule came out this week, I found it interesting that you were only supposed to practice twice outdoors. Now, of course, you're only practicing once outdoors. So how do you compensate for that?
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, we're gonna next week force to practice once, because we play 2 games in 6 days with 6,000 kilometers of travel in between that. So part of it was this week thinking how can we best play 2 games in 6 days. Not that we don't overlook anything. We're focused on BC, but we know in order to take care of our bodies and take care of our players, particularly with a long list of injuries that are piling up on us, this was in our best interest. We're going to try something different. And so instead of going out, and it's been extremely hot in Montreal like it has been all summer, rather than beat up our players even more, we decided to take a different approach this week. And this wasn't in the works. We were supposed to go out and get our daily work in, but we got a lot of work in right now. A lot of that's mental. We still got to physically move around and do that. Our guys are great about working out. We have a great strength and conditioning program here. So the guys will be prepared. If anything, this might help us more than anything. So, that's the way we're looking at it.
Since there's no outdoor practice today, are any of your injured guys ready to come back?
Well, you'll see that again tomorrow. And like I say, every week we'll evaluate them. They're getting closer. Yeah. And I'll say this. I mean, the beauty of not going outdoors and not beating ourselves up for an hour, 2 hour practice is just that. We do get more time to rest our legs, and we're 9 weeks into the season. Again, I'm going to say it. We're going to play next week practicing once, and it's going to be a walkthrough to play a game. So we're more than capable of doing that this week too.
Was Tyler Sneed advised to run that field goal back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. I mean, you can always second guess everything. I just watched,
That's my job.
Exactly. I can go back and say, gosh, I wish I would have done that. It would have been a 7-point game. But you have an 8-point game in the fourth quarter. You want to keep an 8-point lead, in my opinion. And the expectation is we block the eligibles up and we make guys miss and get our yardage that we wanted to, and then get first downs and score. That's what the thing is. You never expect a turnover inside the 10-yard line, and they make it work to get a touchdown on you. I mean, that's like the worst case scenario. So, but I can go back and forth with you on it. I mean, but do I second guess? Do I look at things? We analyze everything. We analyze every decision after. My gut is to go with that. Would it be differently next time? Maybe, but I mean, at the end of the day, we stick with what you know and what you do and what you believe in. And to me, an 8-point lead at that point was a good thing to have.
Would you care to share who your backup quarterback is Saturday?
Well, I mean, right now, I mean, it's going to be a collection of James Morgan's going to be our backup, Caleb's going to be a starter, and we just signed Cameron Duke. So we've got 3 quarterbacks. That's what you need to have in this league. Got 3 guys, 2 of them that have experience in starting games and winning games in this league, and the backup in James, who's about as prepared a quarterback as I've ever been around. That guy spends more time in our building, more time analyzing football, and loves football more than probably anybody I know right now. I mean, he's just incredibly prepared. So I think all 3 of our guys will be ready to play, and we look forward to Caleb leading us.
Dukes is here as of today.
Yeah, Duke's got in today. Just took reps right now. So he's smart guy, and he jumped at the bit to come here, which is awesome. I mean, he put on hold everything that was going on in his life to come here and be there for us, and I couldn't be happier that he did that.
The fact that we're 10 games into a season and now you're down to a guy who theoretically was number 3 on your depth chart at quarterback, it's not okay.
I mean, you guys that have been here reporting on the Montreal Alouettes, when guys go down, what do I always say?
Next man up.
Well, it is. That's what the mentality is.
That's why we have guys in the hangar.
Have we won games with James or with our backups before? Yes. I mean, Caleb has won games for us as a starter. So when you guys look at those things, I mean, that's not what we look at, what we worry about. We say, you got to be ready to play. And that's our focus, and that's what we'll do. We'll get Caleb the best, as ready as he can be, and go out there and perform up to his ability, up to our offensive capability and our team's capability to win games. We don't just win it with Caleb. You win it with all 3 phases, playing well, finishing games, making plays, doing all those. That's what winning football is. So it's never on one guy.
As a coach, you're used to see your team winning the close games. What is the difference?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'll say this. I mean, you'd like them not to come down to that, but in the past, we've been very successful with games and closing out games or finishing games on the field, doing those things. This year, it's bit us a couple times. 2 1-point games at home, and I think about even last year at the end of the year with Winnipeg. That's 3 in recent memory that we've just let escape from us. It comes down to execution at the end of the day. There's some of it, and I say all 3 phases because this year, that's what it's been. It's been an offense's incapability of closing a game out, a special teams possible penalty, which has happened twice now on us, to kind of take away a momentum or field position, make it differently. And then obviously we can, at times, better technique, better assignments on defense to close games out. Those are all learning experience, and they're all things that make us better and make us stronger. And they're challenges that we have faced, and we're going to be better because of. So, that's what the belief is. Last year, the beginning of the year went much smoother than it is this year, but we still didn't get the goal we wanted. We still have every goal obtainable to us. The season that we set out to have is still there for us. So, we just got to be better throughout a game, in my opinion. To not let it come down to those crucial moments. But when they do, we got to have the expectation we can make those plays. We have in the past, and that's just got to be a core belief. But I know this, when you look at our sidelines and you watch our games, you can't tell me when we're up and we're down and that guys don't believe. They do. And so we just got to make it happen. And again, that's all 3 phases and everybody doing their jobs.
9 games into a season, you go offside, a team goes offside on the late kickoff, and it's a 23-yard swing.
It was a huge play. We're not going to shy away from saying it was a big play. I mean, the one thing it did was make us do it again, and then there's a number of defensive players on that field that had to do it twice. So there's things we can obviously learn from, and I know our player will. I mean, we talk about plus jamais, never again, never again, never again. Well, that's about as big a never again as that you can possibly have. And we talked about that in the room. Nobody else needs to do that. Now, it's when you watch the play, it's not him. I mean, he's been on kickoff our entire year, and he's one of the best players on our kickoff. And he usually lines up at 6 yards and runs. And that play, he lined up at 3 yards and, was looking at the crowd a little bit. He just got caught up in the moment. And that happens. I mean, we're athletes, we're humans. And the moment was big. It was as exciting a kickoff as you can possibly have in a game. You get the lead, you have a lead, you want to sustain it. You know how important the kickoff is for them to get it. We get a great kick and cover it so well, and then all of a sudden that happens. So, it's unfortunate. And, but I don't think that cost us the game. We still could have went out and played football and finished the game, and we didn't. And, ultimately, one of the last plays, alignment, assignment, technique, it comes down to. And if we do that better, we probably get a stop. But those are things we can learn from and get better from. And we got some young players playing for us, and we had a lot of injuries last week that we overcame and had a great game. You know, and I look at that as that. You know, it was a great game up until it wasn't, till the end. At the very end of the game, you lose, you feel terrible about it. But what I told the guys after the game was this: no matter how great it would have felt to win that game, we still had to move on to BC tomorrow and the next day. So what's any different than winning or losing at that moment? It just, it hurts you, it kills you, but you've got to move on from it and believe it makes you stronger. And that's the belief on this team. That's the belief I'll always carry.
I guess what I was implying was just like 9 games into a season, fundamental mistakes.
Is that a fundamental mistake, though? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lapse in judgment, if you ask me. That's not a fundamental mistake. That's getting caught up in the moment. And that's what I was trying to tell you. That could have happened the first game. It could have happened the 16th game. I'm glad it happened now. Because if it had happened in the playoffs or any other time of the year when a game is on the line where you go home that game, and it could very well have happened because that moment would have been much bigger than that moment.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we get to learn from it. And that's what I choose to look at. I don't choose to dwell on it. Well, you know, we're also been a very disciplined football team. We're number 3 in the league right now in penalties, which equates to discipline. And that one was just an unfortunate lapse in judgment, and by a player that's a very outstanding football player. So, you know, it's something we can all learn from as a team and get better from.